Screen share.
Oh, sorry. Screen sharing in 5, 4. No. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Tsongporado is back.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Tito Pabs, do you see the script now?
Yes, Tito.
Nice.
Yes.
Alright. Good morning.
Got it stuck in your head.
Oh no. Oh god. So
It's funny that song was used. There's a commercial. This was like years ago. I think like maybe more than a decade ago. But that was like the Viagra song, the Viagra of commercial song.
Really?
what are you trying to wake up with that?
And it just shows this dude like it's like one of those like Broadway type of settings where the person's like waking up in the morning and he's dancing through the streets, prancing around. Jack Nicholas, what's up?
Hey Jack. Good morning, Jack.
Morning, Jack. Come back. Come back, Jack.
Nice. Teka, is it Tuesday today?
It is Tuesday today.
Okay. Sorry.
Tuesday for you guys.
It's Tuesday. We
Tuesday for
didn't
us.
have an episode yesterday, guys, because everyone was busy. So
Yeah,
like
Thanksgiving over here.
yeah. I was actually wondering to myself, was it already Thanksgiving? And I realized, oh, you're Canadian, so it's a different Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I know.
US is in November.
Okay. Hey, thank you to yourselves for sharing the stream. Good morning. And Jack Nicholas, good morning as well.
I read the chat by Vince yesterday, and he said I'm at a Thanksgiving dinner, and then the first thing that I did after reading that was grab my phone and then check Amazon for any item that is on sale, and I remembered. Oh, he's
Black
from Canada.
It's always the handicap. He's from Canada.
Oh man.
And then after realizing it's only October, wait, what? There's a wait, what moment?
when is Thanksgiving again? November 24th? Is it?
Something like that. US Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Ask the
Is there
good
a-
old
Is
Google.
there a specific date dito, or
No,
they are
it's-
counting like the
it's
fourth
the
something
it's
something?
It's the second to the last Saturday of the month. I remember.
November 28th.
28th. Oh, the last Saturday then. The last
28th.
Saturday of the month. So the last Saturday of the month is Thanksgiving, and then the Friday before that is the Black Friday.
Yeah.
And you also have
That's the
Black Monday.
most important,
You
man.
also have Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday.
Yes. These Americans are really good with making holidays. They also had what's this? The Prime Day, Amazon Prime Day.
Oh yeah. Ooh. What day is that again?
Whenever Amazon wants to.
Whenever, yeah, they just choose the day.
No, I remember it's around summer, around June.
June, just before the 4th of July.
Yeah, it's just kind of a weird. Are they making their own pocket of the year to have a shopping spree period? Like artificially making.
Perhaps. It's
Dangerous,
their
man.
for own.
It's like Costco online.
Mm. Oh. Oh.
40 seconds.
40 seconds.
So Jack is here. Canadian celebrates Thanksgiving before US. Why is that the case?
I don't know. Maybe Canada's cooler. Just joking.
Watch How I Met Your Mother, and Robin will
Explain.
why. I forgot.
It's
the
about the
exact
Civil War,
explanation.
right? It's all about the Civil War, the Thanksgiving thing.
I think so, Tito. But 10 seconds.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
3, 2.
1. And
Hello, good morning, and happy Tuesday, the 15th of October 2019. Nagbabalik po ang inyong mga chong, ha? It's our 16th episode. Ayan, sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Ayan, at alam nyo ba, may namumuong kulimlim sa Hearthstone community nitong mga nakaraang linggo at ayaw mamatay-matay. Bakit kaya? At sino itong si Carlos Yulo na nagwagi sa World Championship for Artistic Gymnastics nitong linggo? Nag-iinit na mga topics ulit kasi nga kami ang parausan bago magtanghalian para sa mga kalmado at apurado. Kinig na sa Tsongporado.
Hey, fellow pirates, come and listen what I say. The captain is a tyrant and I no longer obey. I'm sick of taking orders from the madman in command. So let's drop him on an island and leave him in the sand. Cause it's a mutiny. It's a mutiny. It's a mutiny. And now we're taking over the ship.
Sticky.
oh my God, that went to that went out live.
My face was not looking at the screen when it
It's
happened.
okay. Good morning, everyone. Today is October 15, 2019, and this is the 16th episode of Tsongporado. Today, your panelists here is me, Tito Jopes of Tito Jopes. Take it away, Tito Pabs.
Yes, I am Tito Babs. Relax Media. Bumabati po again ng Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Go ahead, bro. Vince.
Good morning, Philippines. This is Vincent Isada, aka the real Entang. Let's kick it off, Tito Jopes.
So, if you guys didn't know, yesterday we didn't have an episode. Monday, if you've been waiting for this on Spotify or other podcast platforms, the reason why we didn't have an episode yesterday was because of schedule conflicts. But we are here now. We are okay. We are good, and we are excited to start our week again with podcasts of Tsongporado. And what better way to start our podcast than to talk about our brand sponsors? Yay!
Yes.
Ang bilis. Rack Gears is the only gaming gear company in the Philippines with dedicated gaming user interface, research, and development. You can get your gaming gears online by visiting their website at rack.ph. That's rakk.ph. Or checking their Facebook page at facebook.com/rack.ph. Rack Gears, kalidad, kisig, kasarinlan. We would also like to thank Electronics Extreme Philippines, which is now sending out a lot of things because they might start Gunbound Philippines soon.
Oh,
Yes. They are sending
Yeah.
emails now, so I'm really excited about that. So from the company that will bring you the new Gunbound Philippines, Electronics Extreme intend to develop the gaming industry continually with new concepts and new technology. They are here for borderless fun and experiences. Check out their website at extreme.co.th. And we would like to also thank Game Express. Game Express is the first and only game store in the Philippines that offer pre-orders with no deposit fee. No more waiting in line. The games you love will come straight to you. Free cash on delivery nationwide. Find them at Facebook by searching Game Express. Yes!
Game Express.
Oh God, Electronics Extreme Philippines has just sent us an email yesterday, and this is for me, that they're going to start the new Gunbound soon, and of course, business stuff. So anyway, so again, thank you everyone who are watching right now our podcast. I would like to call out Aika Eunice and Kathleen Payatot. Good morning. We also like to thank Chichay Sison for listening to our podcast. The entire time, gabi. Diyan lang siya, nakaano lang siya. Nakatambay lang siya. And RJ Solbiano is also here. Hello, RJ. Hello, good morning. And good PM na ba? Good morning pa rin. Good AM pa rin. Ayan, kakaumpisa lang. Yes. Okay. So, I would like to start our podcast with our first topic. This is one of the hottest gaming topics of the month. It has been about the Hearthstone controversy over tournament winner's cry of protest. So, let us uh let us show you our visual here about the guy. So ito si Blitz Chung. Okay. So Blitz Chung is actually a recent Hearthstone tournament winner. Uh, just a small tournament lang. He won I think $3,000 in the tournament. But after winning the tournament, he kind of shouted out Hong Kong revolution Hong Kong protest the revolution of our age. So, ayan. So, liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our time, yung pala. Yung sinabi niya, with the mask, with the gas mask. Because right now, the symbol of Hong Kong's protest is the gas mask and also the umbrella. Because the umbrella prevents them from being face recognized by the cameras of Hong Kong.
Oh, that's why. I always wondered. I had no idea. I always was like, why are they holding umbrellas
Yeah,
everywhere while they're in the middle of a
they're trying to
riot?
cover themselves with the umbrellas. Initially, they started using lasers to actually disrupt camera signals. So they're trying
Mm-hmm.
to like
Interesting.
move lasers around. So, but instead of using that, and it's kind of expensive to maintain lasers there, they just use
Yeah.
umbrellas. Because Hong Kongers use umbrellas anyway. So, uh, Tito Pabs. Are you familiar with what's going on in Hong Kong?
I only have an idea, Tito. But the entire picture is still something that I am not so. I'm not an expert
Yeah,
about.
it's hard to discuss Hearthstone without discussing politics, guys. Kasi Blitzchung actually was suspended for 1 year. Take it has his prizes taken away from him, and
Mm-hmm.
I think yun nga, it's too harsh a penalty for Blitzchung basically. So and somehow the Blizzard community, the Blizzard fans or the Hearthstone community thought that it might not be the right move from Blizzard to do
Mm.
this kasi
And parang ano dito eh. Are they actually supporting like China or are parang may parang ano ba to? Parang issue with the NBA din kaya? Marami silang investors from China that does not want this happening sa
I
mga
don't think it's
tournament?
about investment because well
Oo.
Activision Blizzard is also being what's the word, invested by this huge Chinese company called Tencent.
Oh.
So I think
Mm.
merong voting stocks si Tencent on in Blizzard. So
Ah. Oo.
and also Tencent
Okay.
is the reason why games like Overwatch, games like Hearthstone can come into China. And they're trying
Mm.
to their best. Activision Blizzard is trying their best not to tick off China kasi hoping that this BlizzCon, Diablo Eternal, which was the mobile version that was
Right.
announced last year, is supposed to launch this year in China.
Mm.
And they are partnering it with NetEase for the development of that mobile version of Diablo.
Aha.
So they're trying. It's not about investment primarily, but primarily market share.
Aha.
Kasi if you
There's a big chunk. a big chunk is owned by a Chinese company,
A
perhaps.
big chunk is actually, well, market share. By market share meaning there are more customers in China.
Ah, customers. All right, all
So
right.
if you just make it in China, you don't need to make it anywhere else.
Kasi doon pa lang ang dami na nilang ano tawag doon? Customers.
Yes, and most of the
Mm.
companies actually, when I attended startup school, they always talk about tapping the Chinese market, because if you tap the Chinese market, you're already set for for good futures
Great
ahead,
things.
for great things, di ba? Parang Milo lang eh. Great things
Mm.
start from small beginnings, ayan. But hey, by the way, Enteng, do you know Milo?
Milo, like the drink Milo?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah.
How did you know that?
I've like the Filipino stores that we have sells the
Oh,
product.
okay.
So yeah,
Ah.
so I've had it when I was a kid. When I grew up, I have it.
Nice.
Actually, I think we do have it in our shelf. I just don't drink it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's weird because here, well, Nestle already admitted Milo is not the healthy stuff, right? But
Of
anyway,
course.
uh, going back to our topic before we get derailed again. So the idea with Hong Kong is that Hong Kong right now is protesting against this new law that they want to pass, which is allowing China to extradite possible culprits or suspects in Hong Kong, which hasn't been done ever since before. The problem
Mhm.
with, I mean, it sounds just a regular extradition treaty, right, between Hong Kong and China, but a lot of people are protesting against it because we with China, we all know how China could be so abusive with with human rights,
Mhm.
right? Because of if you remember, we have plenty of news about them abusing, torturing certain groups in China, and they didn't want that. Hong Kong doesn't want that, and right now they are touting that Hong Kong could be like the next Tiananmen Square incident because
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
yeah, because Tiananmen Square was actually a protest by a certain religious group in China, and it was reported that 20,000 people were just bulldozed and crushed in that square. So it was a
Wow.
bloody ordeal. There were actually pictures that came out of the incident. So and Hong Kong doesn't want that. Hong Kong doesn't want for China to just cherry pick whoever it wants to cherry pick when it comes to like what's the word, litigation or pushing uh trials against them.
Mhm.
So the problem is
Right.
Hong Kong is exercising free speech right now. They could criticize, the Chinese government. They could criticize Xi Jinping. They could call Xi Jinping Winnie the Pooh. That's
A
that.
pig.
Yeah, they could call any official like that because they have been exercising that right ever since the British took over Hong Kong.
Mhm.
But
Land grabber.
okay. Okay. Lalabas to sa international podcast.
Yari tayo.
Yari tayo. Hindi, actually, China has had so many records of being the bully of Asia. And that's kind of a fact. Not only kind of a fact, but it's a fact, especially here in the Philippines. As we all know, China has been uh, hoarding the territories surrounding the South China Sea, which is now known as the West Philippine Sea.
Mhm.
Um, and a court tribunal has already mentioned that some of the islands, some of the territories are part of the Philippines, but China doesn't want to do that.
Uh-huh.
And China's strong arming is very very well known internationally, and it's appalling how how the UN, how the international community hasn't responded to this. And with the Hong Kong situation, it's kind of a David Goliath fight. But a lot of the great thing about what's happening in Hong Kong is that a lot of eyes our eyeballs are watching this incident and seeing how China will handle this, right?
So
So,
what would be the resolve? Like, how would this end?
well, I'd like to try to discuss first how it ended with Blizzard and Blitzjung.
Mhm.
Blitzjung, this guy,
Yeah.
his sentence was reduced to like 6 month sentence. His suspension was reduced to 6 months of not playing, but it's still kind of a huge deal for him because, well, normal profession. Well, we could always look at professional gamers as not having any as having this as a part time job, right? But it's not the case.
Mhm.
Blitzjung, this is his full time job. He's a
Yeah.
professional, so it would be hard for him to get suspended for 6 months because the next coming tournament is going to be in a couple of months. So he wouldn't have as much what do you call this source of income in the next coming 6 months. It's going to be hard for him. Not
Yeah.
not to mention that the Hong Konger economy is kind of crippled because of the
Right.
protests.
Mhm.
So they're still deliberating what to do with Blitzjunk, but at the same time, it's not only Blitzjunk that was suspended. Oh, it was also the shoutcasters who didn't do anything at all during Blitzjunk's protest. Uh, they were also suspended,
Mhm.
Hmm.
which is too harsh. It was like a North Korean kind of a move for Blizzard to do that.
Correct.
Right.
So now a lot of the Blizzard community, well, if you didn't know, last week, Blizzard boycott was trending in Twitter last week. I guess number
Mhm.
one, trending, and also a lot of the fans are thinking of protesting as well in the upcoming BlizzCon this week. I think it's this week.
Yikes.
Ouch.
That sounds ugly.
Yes. I mean, this is the worst. No, oh, November 2, sorry. That's going to be on Saturday, November 2. That's going to be 2 weeks from now. And this is kind of a bad time for them to actually have this kind of PR or the really bad publicity for this upcoming BlizzCon. So, and by the way, um, if you don't know, Overwatch is also being played inside China, also in Hong Kong, in Chinese territories. They're also played inside, and and the Blizzard community has used May in Overwatch as the symbol of the protest for the Hong Kongers.
Are they really? Oh, jeez.
So right now, Blizzard is so nervous because China might stop her Overwatch in China because of that symbol. So, I mean, they should have done this in the first place. Like it's like the Houston Rockets situation, right? And then, can you elaborate to our listeners what the Houston Rockets China issue is happening right now?
With he's a rock. To be honest with you, I don't know very much about like what comments are like. This is like I said, when it comes to politics, I'm kind of out in the air there. So I'm morely have to be educated on this than for me to give you my comments on it.
Okay, but the idea is that was it the owner of Houston Rockets
Who tweeted?
who retweet?
Yeah.
It's not even a tweet. It was just a retweet about Hong Kong.
Oh, it was a retweet.
It was just a
Okay.
retweet.
It was
So
like sharing. We just shared it.
I mean, in China, even just liking a post is kind of a crime already.
Correct.
Yes,
Correct.
like that Winnie the Pooh picture. A lot of people got in prison because of that.
Hmm.
Uh Okay, so basically yes, and as Tito Pablo said a while ago off camera, it was 4 billion worth of revenue for NBA. That's kind of in danger right now because of that Houston Rockets incident. So hold on. So I'm still looking if it's the owner of Houston Rockets or Because Houston Rockets is like the hugest team in China, right?
Yeah,
It
well,
has the
I think
most fan
there's
base.
it has the most fan base. Aside from I think three other teams as well too. Yeah, like because every year, especially during like preseason or even over the summer, the NBA gets involved with events and such in China. So um,
Yeah, so Daryl
I,
Morey is the general manager of Houston Rockets, and a lot. LeBron James says it's the weirdest thing because LeBron is saying that Daryl Morey was misinformed about ramifications of retweeting such tweets, and why not? Seriously, I mean, there's this guy who's so angry about Daryl Morey's action that he's saying that you are not thinking like the team. You're not thinking like like everyone else who is trying to keep this house keep the lights on. Uh,
mhm.
Mhm.
but is it?
Was it LeBron dito or Stephen A? Because Stephen A had exactly the same statement. Stephen A. Smith during his podcast, he said, uh, he
Oh,
that's is that
oh,
mommy?
Stop! You
oh.
woman, stop! Woman, stop!
Someone clip that. Someone clip that.
Oh no! I was surprised someone came in. Anyway,
Is that
yes,
mama?
that's mom. That's
Mama
mom.
Jopes?
Stop!
Hello, hello.
Oh.
Uh, I want to file harassment. Anyway, anyway, just kidding. Obviously, yes, that's my mom. Where was I? Where was I again? I'm so distracted. So yeah, Houston Rockets. So everyone in NBA is actually kind of condemning whatever Mori was doing. It was just a retweet. At the same time, he's an American. Aren't Americans supposed to be like the bastions of freedom and bravery? And why are they doing
Correct.
this? Because of corporate capitalism
Or
bullshit, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
for
I
sure.
mean, a lot of people are comparing this situation to like Venom from last year. Because Venom didn't
Mm-hmm.
really do well. Well, it did well. It did kind of well in the US, but didn't really do well as much as Spider-Man did. Um, but it did so much good in China that it actually automatically made Sony create a new sequel out of out of Venom. I was asking why.
Mhm.
Why would you need a sequel for Venom? It's because China likes it a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the climate of our economies right now. Better please China or otherwise
Or
you're going
else.
down. It's crazy
Uh,
times.
I thought of something dito. For those of you na hindi po masyado ma-picture mabuti, what is basically generally what is happening in China. Think of China as a Chinese dad, and then meron siyang anak na binata, ano? And then here's the anak na binata introducing a new girlfriend who is not Chinese, who is actually a Filipino. Hey dad, this is my new girlfriend, blah 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 blah. Oh, I don't like your new girlfriend. Find one from China. Abing ganon. So it's basically like that. Lose your girlfriend or I will not give you GTR and
Yeah.
money. Sabi. Parang ganun. So wala the choice left for the son is to of course pick the side of the dad kasi nga he would lose virtually
Yeah.
everything, 'di ba?
I mean what
So
happens with
it's in a nutshell
yeah,
ganun.
what happens in China is it's trying to take control of of a lot of the huge economies in the world.
Mhm.
It's guys, we're not being xenophobic here. It's not about we're against China or we're being scared of the unknown. I mean, trust me, I know a lot of Chinese friends, and not Chinese being Filipino Chinese, but Chinese China friends really. But at the same
Uh-huh.
time, I mean, they can't do anything about this because they're just following the government's orders. The government has become
Mm.
so totalitarian, has been so big brother to the point that it actually monitors every citizen they have. And I mean, the rest of the world has already practiced free speech, free, education, a lot of those things. Um, the freedom the freedom to just be you, to be the individual that you want to be, as long as of course
Mm-hmm.
it's government complying, obviously. I mean, if you tell yourself, I want to be a robber sometime, you can't be that. The government will tell you, yeah, you can't be that. I wanna I
Ito,
wanna be the real life
I
money
thought of some,
heist guy. No.
naisip ko ulit,
Uh,
China, sabi, happy on the outside, North Korea on the inside.
who said that? Who said that?
Naisip ko lang.
Wow. According to Jack Nicholas, but CBA has imports from NBA. Okay. Yes, they do import. Um. Um. Uh. At least NBA. Here's the thing. This is not against the Chinese people. This is just against the government, the Chinese government. It
Government,
has been
yes.
strong arming a lot of things, not only their citizens, and actually even their citizens are already starting to notice this is not good. Case in point, in 2017 they lifted the one child policy that they always had ever since the beginning of the communist state. So, and they scrapped that into like the two child policy system.
Yep.
Imagine
But,
imagine during the one child policy era, citizens have to dump their kids if it's female. They have
uh-huh.
to do infanticide if they don't get what they want, which is male. And right now we have like a disparity of women versus men in China, around 36 million of this disparity. So not much. There aren't much female Chinese in China right now, and
Mm-hmm.
basically the economy is driven by men in China, whereas in other economies like U.S., Philippines, etc., it's being driven by women.
Yes.
So
Oh,
um,
And I think, Tito, that will be the bottleneck of the Chinese
yeah,
economy. Kasi nga, may napanood din akong video recently that, and yes, the population of yung demographics ng population nila is yun nga, maraming matatanda.
mm,
But the people who are able to work for the next 10, 20, 30 years, kokonti.
yeah. And
Di ba?
if you guys don't know, the reason why China is being this kind of strong arming, is not because of because they can. It's because they also have internal turmoil in the country, because a lot of the Chinese aren't satisfied with their state of living,
Correctness.
especially with
I can understand that.
not
Yeah.
only of labor laws, because they don't have much, but not only because of environmental issues, because they have so much pollution in there, but also of course just the basic liberties of just pointing out what's wrong, because there are many injustices in that country, like the disparity between the rich and the poor just being scraped off the road just because the rich has just gone past that road.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these injustices are also happening in China, and people are starting to notice in China. People are starting to get it now, and and China is starting to do these strong arming things elsewhere. Like for example, the way they do the way they control U.S. politics, the way they control the West Philippine Sea. They do that just to scrape the bottom of the barrel if they could get more approval ratings from their citizens.
Mm-hmm.
So because
Okay.
they don't want a revolution to break out, especially in this information age, especially during these times where you can communicate with your with your colleagues or your comrades without using the internet. They had this mesh network thing using just smartphones. So that's what's being used right now in Hong Kong. So that's what's happening in Hong Kong. The end of this, we don't know. We don't actually know what's the end of this. I mean, lucky for Taiwan, they're an island outside of the mainland.
Sucks to be
Sucks
you.
to
I
be you,
mean,
Hong Kong.
no, we're not laughing because of the. I mean, of course, the unfortunate situation in Hong Kong. Just to make it
Just so
clear,
you, we're just
huh?
trying to like what's the word? Uh, uh like turn this into a fable of kind of
Mm-mm.
Goliath versus David. The two
Yeah.
Davids being China at Taiwan. Taiwan is also starting to also speak up against this Hong Kong intrusion of laws. So
I think even Vietnam, Tito, 'di ba? Parang they're standing up against the acts of
I mean,
China.
better than the Philippines, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna expand on that. But
Mm.
uh according to Jack Nicolas, because China has cheaper for factoring products than having factory in US. That is true, but did you know that a lot of the Nintendo Switch peripherals and parts are now being routed towards the Philippines because of the Trump embargo rule on China, trade rules
Mhm.
on China, because China wouldn't pay this tariff, but it's only imposed on China. The tariff is only imposed on China. So a lot of the companies are now checking out Vietnam, Philippines. So if you don't know, we if you check on the Joy-Cons, check in behind it if it's made in the Philippines instead of made in China.
Yay.
And Sony has always been producing their stuff, their peripherals here in the Philippines, like the DualShock controllers.
Mm.
They've been producing it in the Philippines. Slazenger, the Slazenger assembly,
Tennis.
the tennis ball is actually being
Oh,
is situated in Bataan. And
wow.
that's the
Nice.
only factory of Slazenger in the world.
Now you know. Oh.
I mean, it's weird because a lot of these companies don't know how strategic our geography is here in the Philippines.
Correct.
We are
Mm.
on the we are
Surrounded.
surrounded by almost all of the oceans. We are the gateway to Asia, like technically we are, and also Japan.
Hub nga dito. Hub tayo eh,
Oh,
no?
yeah, exactly. And we speak English.
Yeah, good English by the way.
Yes.
Hmm?
Probably better English than
Very good. Very good
Australia.
English.
Sorry. I mean, the Australians admit it. We speak better English. We speak eloquent English than, Australia. But anyway, my boss is an Australian. So anyway, Jack Nicholas also says, also PS Vita's main adapter is made in the Philippines. Correct. I also noticed that. Also the PSP, I noticed that. Um, Texas Instruments calculators accessory is made in the Philippines. A lot of things are actually being made in the
Oh
Philippines.
yeah.
If you guys didn't know, Intel's factory used to be in the Philippines, and now they went to China because of the semiconductor fabrication plants. And
Oh, interesting.
if you also don't know, a lot of the uh, Seagate hard drive manufacturing didn't start in Thailand. It started in the Philippines as well. They just migrated elsewhere because they're seeing that the Philippines is having like a higher quality of life because of all of these factories, all of these jobs that is being rendered to the Filipino people. And now that's what's happening in China because a lot of the jobs are put onto China.
Mhm.
So
Hmm.
and now we're starting to become again another a better alternative to China. So yes, uh, Jack Nicholas says I like Japan to be honest. They are completely independent.
Correct.
Actually, they
Yep.
already joined the anti-China coalition. I guess that's including Vietnam and Nepal.
'Di ba Tito, ano, Japan Japan even tawag dito, like they swore that they will help the Philippines no matter what.
Yes.
Oo, 'di ba?
In fact,
Kaya
they already helped one of our citizens in the
mm,
past Artistic Gymnastics World Championships. This is the next topic.
ayan, ganda ng transition.
Yes. So okay. The reason why I want to stop on that because we're already starting to dig a deep hole with politics already. So I had to stop it.
Ang hirap nga maging
Ang
objective
hirap maging
talaga
objective
pagka
kasi I mean you'd wanna start being fair with China as well because it's a huge nation, it needs to support all its people, but
yeah.
with what it's doing, it's doing the most dirtiest of tactics anyway.
Yeah. And yes, Tito, before we transition, yes, we want to make it clear that we are not targeting the Chinese people. Kasi nga po personally, Tito Jopes, and I believe the real ending also has Chinese friends. We also do. Even our family is Chinese actually. Ang lola ko sa mother side is half Chinese. I have Chinese business partners at meron akong mga ninong na
Oy.
What happened?
Oh.
the problem here is yung feeling ko talaga yung gobyerno. Yeah. So, disclaimer lang po. We are not hating on the people. Sige,
Yeah.
Tito, go ahead.
Okay, so the next topic is about a Filipino, finally, yay, palate cleanser. So there's this kid named Carlos Yulo. Called. Is this a species? Wait. Carlos Yulo, named Carlos Yulo, who wins gold for the Philippines in Artistic Gymnastics World Championships. If you guys didn't know, Carlos Yulo is trained in Japan for artistic gymnastics, and has since been qualified in the Olympics since last year. So we already have a representative here in the Philippines. Filipinos have a representative for artistic gymnastics on Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Yeah. So congratulations, Carlos Yulo. But
Congrats.
last year, he won bronze on this specific field called the apparatus finals. So in the apparatus finals, you have your separate apparatuses. You have the floor, you have pommel horse, you have rings, you have what else? The vault, and what is the other one? Do they do hula hoops, men?
No, you got the rings,
Pommel horse. The uneven bars. Do they have uneven bars?
the parallel bars,
A parallel bars and then a high bar. I remember.
and the high bar. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have the high bar. So Carlos Yulo participated in the all around competition, and passed. He actually was part of the top 10 from the overall apparatuses. So the number one was Dalaloyan from Russia. I don't know. It's no longer Dalaloyan. It's his comrade from Russia as well. So number one is Russia, number two is Russia, China, blah 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 blah, and Carlos Yulo was 10th overall. So when you say overall, meaning on every apparatus. But if you don't know, guys, Carlos Yulo just entered his seniorship as a gymnast last year. So last year was his first ever Artistic Gymnastics World Championship, and he won a bronze. This year, he won a gold.
That's awesome.
So that means his first years of seniorship and his first every year he comes to the Artistic Gymnastics World Championships, he always snags a medal. And that is the first time that Southeast Asian won a gold, actually won a medal from last year. That was the first time that a Southeast Asian won a bronze medal in the tournament. And this year, this is the first time that Southeast Asian won a gold.
Gold medal.
Yes. That was
That's
really
awesome.
awesome. That is awesome.
Let alone a Filipino. Woohoo!
Yeah,
Pinoy pride again.
that's very inspiring. I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah.
It's
It's like when Nadia Comaneci presented herself in Melbourne. Was it Melbourne? Montreal, Canada, in 1976. Everyone wasn't really attentive about gymnastics, but ever since Nadia Comaneci graced the gymnastics stadium,
Mm-hmm.
gymnastics was all over the world, and it's actually sparked the road to the USA becoming like a superpower in gymnastics,
Mm.
and a hugely marketed sport in the world. And
Mhm.
if you guys don't know, a lot of people are saying that gymnastics is like the mother sport of all sports. Do you know why, guys? Do you know?
No,
Not no dito.
I do not.
Because a lot of athletes say that if you want to start, say, if you want to do taekwondo or if you want to do diving, if you want to do ice skating, the very first fundamental
Graceful
that
ka
you need
dapat.
It's gymnastics.
is
Mm.
gymnastics.
That makes sense.
The basic fundamental you have to start with is gymnastics.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm starting actually to wonder if basketball also needs gymnastics.
The flexibility can help,
Yeah.
Flexibility. Tsaka dapat
Also
agile ka.
the strength
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
strength.
and
Of course.
endurance as well with the parallel bars.
Oh, gymnastics always seems to catch my attention during, say, the Olympics. You see these athletes. I consider them as athletes. I'm sure a lot of people, kind of make jokes and stuff about athletes in gymnastics, but like just their figure, the way that the things they have to do in order to compete. The like takes a lot of hard work, and I don't. And
Look at that! Look at that!
like
Can you see his
yeah, like
look
that's
at that
crazy. Look at that.
that form, bro? Like
Kinilabutan ako.
he's like super straight. Look at that.
Bang! Oh.
He doesn't even tumble when he lands. He always lands firmly.
Eh, di ba dito kasama sa scoring yun? Yung
Yes, in
paglanding.
landing. Not only that, but if you promise a 6.5 difficulty, that means you have to do like a triple twist. And we all know that twists are really hard.
Yeah, totally.
Spikes are a lot easy. Not a lot, but are easier. So he always does twists in this one. He doesn't do
Damn.
much spikes or somersaults.
I can do I can do log rolls.
I can
I can do lazy
Maybe,
rolls.
maybe yeah.
half cartwheel.
Or, yeah.
Half cartwheel.
Hey, look at this guy. He does his that's a double twist. So and then I guess this is the last one. This is a triple twist. Look at that.
Damn!
Easy.
So quick. He was like
Easy
he was
peasy.
spinning like a top on air. It was so quick.
Mm.
And actually the if you can listen to the transcript here, the announcers are astonished how quickly things have gone for this guy. He is so small. He's like the smallest and the youngest in the entire roster. This is the floor exercises, by the way, guys. So
How tall is he?
he is, I guess he's 5'3", 5'4".
Wow.
He's 19 years old. He's just 19 years old. So, and look at those guns, bro.
Yeah, he's ripped,
He's-
man.
he's- he's-
Like look, those arms and shoulders.
He's
Damn.
jacked. Dang it. And I wish I could jump like that. Look at the height.
If I could
Diba?
just do if I could just do a flip, I'd be happy.
Even just a cartwheel, as simple. So
Yeah.
in this part, Dolgopiat from no, not Iran, from Israel. It was actually sitting. He was actually second in the 10 man roster of this event. So there is a medal for floor. There is a medal for vault, for parallel bars, for what else? High bar, for the rings. There's one. There's one medal for each. They started with floor, and the arrangement or the order of the gymnasts to perform is from the
Yeah.
top qualifying to the least qualifying. So
Yeah.
the top qualifying was actually De La Loya, which has been a superpower in the gymnastics sport. Yes.
Crazy.
Okay. I'm just looking at the chat on Skype because it's I know it's already time, but what happened was Dalaloyan made a mistake, and then his Russian friend also made a mistake, because it was too difficult. And somehow, Dolgopiat from Israel came through as the first one. So from starting from the second performer, he was just sitting there, Dolgopiat, as like the top contender until the ninth performer, which is Carlos Yulo. So Carlos was like second to the last, and Dolgopiat was second overall on the. So it was a long wait for. It was a long nervous wait for Dolgopiat. Whoever is gonna topple him,
Right.
and no one expected for the second to the last qualifier to topple Dolgopiat. No one really expected that. That's why if you watch this video, a lot of people cheered on him because it was so unexpected.
Hmm.
So who was the favorite to take the whole thing down? Really?
The Russians are the favorites for
Oh, the
this.
Russians,
Yes,
eh?
the Russians.
Sabi niya siguro pagkatapos, kala nyo
Exactly. And not only that, well, we already qualified. I mean, Carlos Yulo already qualified for the Olympics next year for the all around, and also the apparatus what do you call this, qualifiers. So medals, I mean. But he is also. It seems to be that he is starting to get buzz that he might actually win gold in the Olympics.
Mm.
But
So he's walking in as a favorite to win.
yes. He may not get gold on the overall because Dalaloya, which is from Russia, and the other guy who is up and coming. Uh,
Hmm.
they are actually how old are they? 22, 23 years old, and this kid Carlos Yulo is just 19.
Yeah.
Oh, so
He just turned he
he's a
just
rookie.
turned 19, by the way. It's not that he's gonna turn 19 like in November or January. No, he
Mm.
just turned
Let's
19.
see.
Might have
They
sucked to be
they they're
last year.
usually young anyways. Usually
The gymnasts, yeah.
the gymnasts are around that age, like maybe even as low as like 16.
Actually, it's a
Mm.
misconception because with the female gymnasts, they start their seniorship at, I guess, 14, 15,
Hmm.
and then men they start their seniorship at 18.
Ah.
That makes sense.
So
Yeah, okay, yeah. Usually it's the females that are a lot younger.
yeah, and when he was 17, he actually fought for the ASHAD for junior. No, was it junior? I can't remember exactly what happened to the Asian Games, but this kid basically is starting to get worldwide buzz because
Hmm.
he has been through so much adversity, and with all the world class talents, he beat them on the floor exercise. Floor exercise is always like one of the hardest to perfect in in
Mm-hmm.
I
uh
agree.
in the apparatuses because it's only the only.
It's only the floor and you.
Yeah, it's only the floor and you. The only apparatus you have is yourself. It's dang hard, and actually it's always the Japanese who wins the floor exercises. So, and the great thing about him is he's trained in Japan. Actually, his coach has been training juniors in the Philippines for a long time, and he kind of adopted Carlos Yulo, to go to Japan. He got a scholarship in a Japanese high school, uh, and he got training, like one-on-one training with his coach. And sorry, if you watch over the win here, so his coach was crying here Look at him.
Oh yeah, so much emotion.
Yeah, so much emotion. His coach used to actually be part of the Japanese Olympic
Oh, that
team.
explains everything.
Yes.
It's Japan's always on the top.
Yes. I mean, ever since I watched the gymnast, because I'm always interested with the gymnastics sport in the Olympics. I always watch the Japanese dominate the men's gymnastics
Always.
always, and
Yeah.
now it's the Russians. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, with the girls, with the women's gymnastics, it's more of U.S. with Mina
Or
Boyles.
China.
Not China, not
Yeah.
China at all. It's weird.
Yeah, China used to dominate in gymnastics as well too.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. I mean, a Filipino winning over a Chinese in
That's awesome.
gymnastics. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Considering that
Awesome.
there's not much government support towards Carlos Yulo. He is privately funded, Carlos Yulo. So
Good for him.
he is sponsored by private entities. But imagine there could be plenty more talents in the Philippines like Carlos Yulo who could dominate not only gymnastics but other sports as well. So
Well, that's why like when you see Filipino athletes dominate and other sports, it's always an inspiration. You know what I mean? Like I get that this is awesome news. Like I always love seeing our country represent and somehow either winning or at least putting themselves, showing or putting Philippines on the map. That that we're here. We exist.
yeah, definitely. Not only that we exist, but we also thrive in this
Yeah.
sport. So it's awesome to see it's awesome to see Carlos Yulo to thrive in this sport. And hopefully with this year's Southeast Asian Games, he might snag a couple more golds for us as well. So I guess I'm gonna end for Tito Pabs. Tito Pabs, let's end the stream now. I could do the
Oh,
spiel if you want.
oh sure, sige tito. Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
yes. Okay. So and then I just wanna you can actually just yes, you can check out now Tito Pabs.
Mm. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Yes. Because he needs to rush to somewhere.
The school.
Yes.
All right, see you
See you
tomorrow.
tomorrow. And then in Canada, how much is it when was the last time that Canada has been competitive in gymnastics?
I can't even recall that, to be honest with you. Not
Oh.
not in gymnastics, anyways. Aside from other sports, like Canada's only, you know, and say if like Winter Olympics, of course, hockey.
Yeah,
Where
of course, in Winter Olympics they
hockey,
dominate.
figure skating, um,
Any Summer
and
Olympic event, like probably water polo, swimming, I don't know.
swimming will definitely be a competitor for sure. Competition between like usually with the U.S. Because U.S. usually dominates in competitive swimming. What else? Track and field, sort of.
Yeah.
It's been back and forth. We do have an up and coming sprinter, uh, Degrassi, I think Andre Degrassi, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He's a dominant force in the 100 meter.
I remember Canada was really good in synchronized swimming. So,
Actually, yeah, you're right. No, you're totally right. Yeah, no,
yeah, it's always
is
been the case. I mean, it's also Japan, US, and Canada for that.
yeah,
I can't even remember China dominating that sport, and it's always Canada.
it's always Canada. So, yeah, we get our fair share. Yeah, we get a handful of medals at the end of the event. Uh, unlike in Winter Olympics, it's we're normally kind of dominant.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Winter is your land. Winter is.
Yeah, winter's our land, pretty much.
Classic Clutch just gave us 20 stars. Thank you for the good show. He says,
Thank you so
yes.
much.
Thank you very much, Kresnik.
Chris Nick.
We're happy that you find our show really good. So but yeah, I mean, aside from I mean, it's really nice to hear news like this. But there we also had another winner from women's boxing who won in Russia this weekend. I can't remember the exact name, but Yulo is actually one of like those. Really, we won in this. It's the first time, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's the first time that we won something from gymnastics ever. I can't even remember. Well, we won one before, but in women's gymnastics,
Mhm.
and they were kids, and that was only the Southeast Asian Games, so it's not really like as huge a deal like what Carlos Yulo did here.
Right.
Um, so I guess that's it. I guess that's it for our episode today, and thank you very much to Classic Lodge for your 20 stars.
Thank you, Chris Nick.
And according to Chinry, very interesting episode. Sports and politics, of course. It's hard to not, it's hard to not combine the two together, sports and politics. Um, as for the Hearthstone one, I think there's still what they're scared about is if there's going to be some ruckus going to happen during BlizzCon.
You see
Uh,
that like that's gonna sound. It sounds ugly. I'm kind of curious to see how what the outcome is.
yeah. And hopefully everyone's going to be safe at BlizzCon. And Jack
Yeah.
Nicholas says there was a pure Filipino but Canadian citizen who joined 2012 London Olympics representing Canada. If I'm not mistaken, is that a boxer? I remember one of our best boxers joined Canada or represented Canada in the Olympics.
I don't remember that, to be honest with you.
And that's totally fine. That's totally fine. He got the funding from Canada. So
Hmm.
it's fair game. But it's just unfortunate that a lot of Filipinos just have to resort to that. We had a chess player, a young chess player, who got absorbed by the U.S. Because of funding and scholarships,
Right.
and that's unfortunate. Yulo actually had the same story. He got offers from the states, also from Canada. He got offers from there, but he just wouldn't want to part from his coach, Coach Mune. Coach Mune is actually his coach, the Japanese coach, the one who was crying a while ago. If
Oh,
you
okay.
if you check out again his I remember there is this this guy. So this guy, I've watched this documentary actually. So he was actually part, yeah. He was actually training these kids here in the Philippines as part of like his, I don't know, his program. I don't know. He was just trying to go elsewhere to do an outreach, but somehow train these young guys to be gymnasts
Right.
themselves. And the guy who actually had the best potential, the most potential was Carlos. And what he did was Carlos now lives with him. So this
What's
is his.
the? I guess is there like a story behind Carlos? Like,
There's not much story. There's not much like tear jerky story about him. But the story was that he had a neighbor who was also a gymnast. And he kept on imitating the moves of that neighbor. And his lolo or his grandpa saw that Carlos really likes to do gymnastics or
okay.
do acrobatics.
Right.
So he somehow knew that there is this place nearby, actually in my place, in Rizal, Rizal province, the Rizal Sports Complex, where gymnasts are being trained. So they went there, and Carlos got free training in the Rizal complex, Rizal
Nice.
Sports Complex,
Hmm.
and has since attracted attention by the National Gymnastics Association in the
Hmm.
Philippines.
Yeah.
So ever since he showed so much potential, he competed in other countries. He won lots of medals,
Yeah.
and now the coach saw it, trained Coach Mune trained a lot of guys here in the Philippines, and Carlos had the most potential. I
Right.
remember the mother was actually telling stories about him having a hard time getting uniforms or leotards for his gymnastics. So what she does was she buys stretchable cloth or stretchable
Okay.
fabric in Divisoria, and have someone sew it
Custom
for
made.
them. Yeah, custom make it
Oh,
for
that's
them.
cool.
And they saved a lot of money out of that. And they said but ever since when Coach Mune chose him to be like the scholar or the to adopt him,
Yeah.
not only that he took care of finding a school to have him as a scholar, but also trained him 5 hours in 6 days a week.
Oh yeah. That
So
sounds intensive for sure.
it is intense. It is intense because actually this documentary is actually from Japan. This is called Everyone's Road to Tokyo 2020. That's the name
Okay.
of the.
So he's very disciplined then, right? So I guess growing up in like the Japanese culture.
Yeah, he is well, he said that the Philippine culture is not much as different as the Japanese culture when it comes to being submissive. So look
Yeah.
at him here. He was being scolded here, and the coach is telling, you're not doing enough. You're not putting it in mind. Your mind is not strong enough. You have to be strong in your
Hmm.
mind. You have to really achieve it. But his body is in so much pain. He says, and he's just crying it out because he's alone in the Philippines. He wants to go home already. He just cries it out, and the coach has nothing to do but be the coach.
Right, for sure.
He was just being the coach for him. He doesn't want to be lovey dovey about him. He was definitely being too. It was not. It was being definitely giving him the tough love.
Right.
Where was that part? There was this part in. Okay, okay. I'm looking for that part where he was trying to like do this somersault, and he couldn't do that. He couldn't do it. Yeah, he was being scolded at a distance. Scolded at a distance.
Oh,
So out of frustration, the coach just went out. He walked out. He walked out. It was all seen on camera. It was so tense, the entire scene. It doesn't look scripted at all because yeah. So he was just there in the corner crying because it was so hard.
damn.
So
Poor kid.
I mean, poor kid, but he is always in pursuit of excellence of his
Oh,
craft.
of course, of course. And then
So
no, I'm not saying it. Makes the coach look bad. It's it's just part of the training.
yeah, it's
I
just
can
part
I
of the
can I,
training.
I, I can completely understand that. I know what that feels like.
I mean, I remember being trained for quizzes. It was for math, especially math. It was a bloodbath in that room because I can't go wrong in math. But it's how traders work. How you can't be as what do you call this, as empathetic. Is that a good word?
Yeah. Yep. Empathetic. Yep.
You can't be as empathetic because it might give the kid bad signals that he is just doing enough,
Right.
right? What when the message should be, you should do more.
Of course.
And Konami's a sponsor.
I want to be sponsored by Konami.
Yeah. And actually, in this, he was actually assigned. His homework is to watch this competition, the National Japanese Gymnastics competition. And this guy actually was oh, Tito Pops is back.
Surprise,
There he
surprise.
is.
Yeah, it kind of took long, but this guy is actually one of the guys who congratulated him Doha, Qatar competition. So the reason why I'm so fascinated with the story of Yulo is because it's a story of cooperation from different countries, from different walks of life, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just a success story all in all. Not only on Yulo's side but also on Japan's side, and how
Basically, there's still hope. You know,
for us.
for everyone. I
for
wish.
everybody.
I hope.
I mean, there's hope if people will just if people were just as okay, hold on. If people were just as where was it? 2000, oh, this one. So this is the Doha Qatar performance of Carlos Yulo. Oh, this is the qualifications, not the qualifications. Just the final. Okay, Carlos Yulo Doha final score. Yes, this one. Okay. So this is him from last year. This is the first
Mm,
time he got into this competition, which is like the not the World Cup, but like the top. It's like the World Cup of gymnastics, but they also have a World Cup. They say
right,
gymnastics World Cup, but this one is higher, the championships.
right.
This is more prestigious being. Look at that. Yes. So he's still kind of rough on the edges here, but his form is. Look at his form and landing is still great considering everything. And
Yeah.
look, in this part, the first placer was actually the Japanese guy I was talking about a while ago. He is actually so popular in Japan. This guy is so popular in Japan,
Hmm.
and Yulo used to be idolizing the Japanese guy.
Ah.
That's a story of that. He hasn't really met him like personally.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes. Look, see the
He
form, the,
could
the
do
form
it.
of his hands. Like it's not even.
It's not even like a regular
Yeah, it's not
handstand.
even a
It's
regular
just
hands. It's like an angled handstand. It must have hurt on the wrist.
my
On
my elbows would snap.
yes. Unless you're as light as him.
No, I'm probably like twice the weight. I'm 250 pounds.
Yeah, I'm also probably twice his weight. Look
Yeah.
at him. Oh
Same story here.
gosh.
If I could just do parkour, I'd
After
be
a lot of the
happy.
gymnasts, when they retire, they do parkour.
Yeah, they just do parkour.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
solid,
This
man.
this guy, the guy who was cheering for him, the Japanese guy who was cheering for him, that is his idol.
That's cool.
His idol
That's
was
awesome.
cheering for him,
Getting
and then when they were waiting for that was his coach, and when they're waiting for the results,
yeah,
so the top was the Japanese guy. Look at him, he was so happy.
that's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, so they were waiting. They were actually looking at each other and like who's gonna be happy for whom. So the tension. Okay, so this is the so
Dude,
Kenzo Shirai, it was first, and then after Carlos,
that was really
that was really
close.
close. Actually, before last Sunday's competition, Yulo said that he never imagined himself scoring a 15. So, and
Mm-hmm.
considering that last year no one scored 15,
Hmm.
and the Israeli scored 15 actually this year. That's 15.2, I remember. Um, but yeah, it was really it was and Arthur Dalaloyan, this guy is the Russian guy who has been dominating gymnastics since the last Olympics. This guy has been
Yeah.
dominating the last Olympics. Yeah, him and Carlos Yulo are very much like friends now because if you notice him performing for the world, for the world championship, I researched a lot of these things. I know, it's crazy, but because just because the story of Yulo, Carlos Yulo, is so fascinating. He really did come from like a well-off family. He just came from like, you know, from the slums. Actually, he came from the slums.
Yeah,
Humble beginnings.
it's always humble beginnings. I like stories like
Yep.
that, and
Yeah.
especially when they face up against their idols too. I always find that even cooler
And
too. Um,
yeah. So this is Arthur Dalaloyan giving a high five to Carlos. So the top guy, the top gun, acknowledging Padawan, the Padawan, Padawan in the making. Look at his form. Fuck. Sorry. I mean, because nowadays, in if you watched Dolgopia, the Israeli guy, if you watched him perform, it wasn't really as well formed. Even the Russians didn't have that form as well. It was only Yulo who did that twist with like that straight edge kind of a form on air. On air, in air, in the air, on air, radio. Anyway, so
good for
yeah,
him.
good for him. It's really good. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I'm fascinated of his story because it's all about the story. Okay, so
Is
Tito Babs, will you make Frio? If Frio wants to be a gymnast, will you have him?
sure. Whatever he wants to do, Tito. For as long as hindi ikakasama ng lipunan.
There's
Gusto niya maging drug lord.
gusto ko maging money heist. Idol kasi money heist.
Uh, whatever keeps him up in the morning, then I'll support.
Yes, Oscar de la Hoya and Este de la Hoya. Paano kung nandiyan si Freddy Roach? Wala namang ginawa si Freddy Roach dyan eh. Anyway, I mean, those stories are normal stories here in the Philippines for our athletes, especially, with boxing, with
Mm.
gymnastics, Hidaylin with weightlifting, and also this lady boxer who won in Russia just last Sunday as well. All of these are just people who just wants to be excellent in their craft in order to what's the word uh, to give a living for their family. So
Mm.
to bring home the dough, basically the bacon. Carlos Yulo and this lady boxer from Russia, lady boxer who won in Russia, are now getting incentives from the Philippine government worth 1 million pesos each.
Wow.
Yes,
Very nice.
as incentive for winning their respective divisions or their respective competitions, and that's actually a good thing for the government to do. But at the same time, you would also wonder if the government wants to start, establishing or institutionalizing, athletes training here in the Philippines because nowadays it's
They
always.
'Di ba dito may tinayo silang a big sports complex or something facility sa Clark? Clark
Can't
yata?
remember, to be honest.
But they are planning to have it sold sa mga private companies who can daw, who has the means
To
to
maintain,
maintain it.
yeah.
Oo. 'Yun ang plano nila after X
I
number
mean,
of
I
years.
mean
I
that's
heard
the
sa news,
problem.
yeah.
It's always about commercializing these things. And when you go to Japan, these trainings are actually supported by the government.
By the government.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, they're a first world country. They're the only country with a surplus in their budgets.
Mm.
Japan compared to US. US has always been doing deficits every year. Um,
Mm.
so Japan, being a first world country, having so much money in them, uh, yeah, you could understand Japan supporting these endeavors, but in the Philippines, it's hard because everything has to come from the private sector instead of like the government. So
Hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know how it works in Canada though, Enteng. How does it work in Canada for sports?
It uh I think it's private as well
Oh,
too. But they do get, I guess, incentives from the
mm-hmm,
government if athletes do win competition. I know it's not a whole lot. It's just extra prize money and such like that. But I've compared to other countries, I've heard bigger payouts
yeah.
uh, than I think even in the U.S. it's same thing too. Like they don't even get athletes that win don't even get paid out as
Mm-hmm.
much. It's
Mhm.
just a congratulations. Here's some money. That's pretty
Y-
much it.
Yeah, tap on the back.
If you're gonna ask an economist, why put up an economist, right? Why put up a sports complex or a sports training center in your country? Then you can think of like the Civ way of thinking things, where you actually put up theaters, you put up a lot of things in your civ in your civilization. Uh,
Mm,
you don't add these units just for well, you add these things for national pride, right?
correct.
You for inspiration.
Mm,
That
Right.
was how Nadia Comaneci was for Romania, for the communist Romania back then. And she was an inspiration not only to the Romanians but also to everyone in the world, because if you see someone excelling in sports and you try to project yourself through that icon, through that person,
mm.
and you can talk yourself out of doing everything,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Parang kwan lang
Parang
yun ka.
basketball. If you're
Na ano
watching basketball, right, Tito Pabs, or NBA,
ah.
you believe you can
Um
fly, right?
Mm. And basically parang ano lang din, parang spending X number of bucks for yourself. Like if you have the means, you'll buy a Rolex. Bakit ka bibili ng Rolex? Pwede naman ng
Yeah,
Casio. Parehas naman it has the same purpose pero you have the means, you have the money, you want to flaunt your Rolex not to tell time but to tell unconsciously to tell people na hey, I'm wearing a Rolex, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Yun yung ano the things that we do to para bang ano to uplift our spirit. It's not necessarily nonsense yan pero it it helps us siguro parang to parang feel good about
yeah.
ourselves. So, yun din yung pinopoint ni Tito Jobs about putting up sports training facilities. It's a beacon of it's a
Of
beacon
pride.
of pride, inspiration sa mga parang ganun din.
Not only for the youngsters not only for the youngsters who aspire to be athletes themselves, but also those who are just watching and thinking, hey, this is the international platform. Why can't I be international myself, right? So
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's one of those things that really. That's why I really like this story, this Carlos Yulo story, because
Mm.
the great thing about him was he was not pressured at all to win, because he was just saying, you know what, I just want to qualify. I don't
Ah.
really want to win. But I know I have good training, so might as well just do it.
Mm.
That was his mentality. I
Mm.
mean, almost
Mhm.
sound like a sliver, a hair or two more until he becomes cocky. But he was just saying I had good training from Japan. I wasn't really intending to win.
Mm.
I was just intending to qualify. But it came out like that. I was also surprised he said that. So it,
Let's just hope that he stays humble. Sometimes being great at your passion can change your personality at some points,
yeah,
right? And
Absolutely. Yeah.
like and sometimes for me that's like a big turn off. Like I hate it when an athlete that's so good at what they're doing and then all of a sudden their attitudes change.
Yeah.
It's a big turn off. Uh, I don't want to point any other
I mean,
athletes
it's
that I
it's
don't
not
like,
it's not
but
only
LeBron. LeBron.
athletes. It's not only athletes. Also, like people who just
Anyone.
who got newfound fame, right?
Mm. You found
yeah,
fame.
it does. Yeah, not necessarily athletes. I guess this is more of I guess a general thing.
Mm-mm.
You do well in something that you're um you achieve your goal, and then once you achieve your goal, uh, you know, do you want to strive for more? But sometimes when you strive for more, it changes you as a person, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it takes the bigger person to stay what you initially were trying to aim
Right.
for. And then what happens is, in some cases it may help or not help, but it drifts you away from your initial passion.
I think his
Correct.
mentality right now is fruit from was born from his training, because he always speaks about I cannot attain excellence. I cannot attain excellence if I'm already on the top. He always says that in his interviews.
Mm.
I cannot be the top. I cannot be the best, because I would learn more if I were the best, and that was
Wala.
born out from his
Uh,
training from his coach, because he never,
mm.
I guess the
Mhm.
coach never lets him feel like he's the best.
Parang parang yung speech ni ano yan dito speech ni Matthew McConaughey dun sa pagtanggap niya ng
Oscar,
ng best actor Oscar niya.
Dallas
I always
Buyers.
look forward to the I always look forward do sa sarili ko that is 5 years ahead of me. Parang so I would always chase after that
Mm,
person.
yeah. So it's going to be the case, and yun nga, with cases like Carlos Yulo being humble still. Actually, what he wants to do in the Philippines is just to see his family. That's all. That's the only thing he wants to do.
Mm.
He doesn't want to do like all these parade thing. He doesn't want to do
Ah,
like a special mention or like a meeting with the president kind of thing. He doesn't want to do that.
mm.
He just wants to meet his family. That's what he said in the interview.
It's very
Yeah,
humble.
super humble.
That's really humble of
Yeah.
him.
Jack Nicklaus is not just only ordinary facility sponsorship too. Yes. Our arena stadium here is named after corporate's name. Yeah, in the US. Everything is commercialized also in the US. So unfortunately. But anyways, I guess that's the end of our discussion, yeah? We hope you guys got inspired by his story.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Definitely.
I love hearing stories like this.
Yeah.
It's great, especially coming from Philippines. Um, it from coming across the seas. It just makes me proud to be Filipino. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
it's
Oh yeah.
I love stuff like that.
Diniguan time. Anyway, so Tito Pabs, since you're here now, anyway, let's anything you guys wanna promote in the upcoming days or hours?
Province?
Uh, Nothing
Jeez.
much really. It just
Yeah, I
I'm
wanna.
just I'm patiently waiting for the NBA's regular season to start. That's
Yee!
all. Yeah,
Next
Yay!
week. Next week.
next week.
Oh
So
gosh,
yeah,
it's gonna rain
can't wait to give you
updates.
guys my rant on the opening season of NBA.
Yeah. All right. And by the way, tomorrow, guys, we will have our spoiler cast of the Joker movie with Nico David. Tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Hopefully, with Nico David, and he can't wait to actually share his
Oh man,
opinions about Joker
I can't
movie.
wait. I can't wait to talk about the Joker movie.
Oh wow! Really,
Yeah,
you've seen it already?
yeah. I
That's
saw it. We saw it on the weekend with the wifey. So
what
yeah,
what was what was the feeling after after the ending?
I was mind blown. Actually, I was
Really?
very mind blown. I don't want to say much more about it, but like, did not expect how like of course we all know the story about the Joker and how but how things led to what we grew up uh I don't
See.
want I honestly I can't say anymore. I'm scared
Basically,
to spoil it.
the progression of the events is how it was constructed. It was really
It
masterful.
it reminded me of like I'm going to Star Wars. So basically the Rogue One, the way that Rogue One was connected to the episode
Mm,
6 of of the Star Wars series. That's
yeah,
how the Joker. That's how I felt about the Joker. The way it ended. That's
yeah.
how I'll compare it.
How it connected all the threads in the universe, right?
Yeah,
Mm,
exactly. I was so shocked, very very shocked.
That was awesome, right? And Tito Pabs, anything you wanna?
Yes, but our YouTube channel is currently active already.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a new video uploaded last night. Just search for Relax Media, and if you haven't already, please also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Relax Media. Ayan. Ayan, YouTube, yan yung YouTube channel po natin. Mga videos
I
na
have one too.
na-uploaded recently.
I have a
Yes,
YouTube
bro.
channel. I have a YouTube
Plug
channel.
your YouTube channel.
Just search me out, the real Enteng. I'm there too. I have no followers.
And we
And-
have our own YouTube channel, right, Tito?
Yes, we also have our own YouTube channel at Tsongporado. So we can't have that fancy URL just yet because we don't have 100 subscribers. But hey, here we are. Please subscribe to our Tsongporado YouTube channel. Look at that. With
Oh yeah, look at that chin.
with that goatee. Ooh. Ooh. It's oozing with sex appeal anyway. So I guess that's it for us. Tito Pabs, tomorrow is going to be an exciting episode.
Yes.
On Wednesday,
Tomorrow,
no,
Wednesday.
Tomorrow is Wednesday. On Thursday, we are going to tackle. I think that's the time we're going to do the double episode. Will you be okay with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's going to be talking next gen for the next generation consoles. So what do we expect and what are in the news? And is someone sneaking in as part of the next generation? So because dun, 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 who's that sneaky bastard? And that's going to be on Thursday. And on Friday, it's something flicks that we have to talk about. But yes, Tito Pabs, take it away.
All right. Thank you again, mga chong, for joining us on this world-class, class topics, topics that we had. At proud to be Pinoy. At speaking of world-class, alam nyo ba, we have Rock Gears. Rock Gears is the only gear company in the Philippines with
Yes.
dedicated gaming user interface, research, and development. You can get your gaming gears online by visiting their website at rock.ph or checking their Facebook page at facebook.com/rock.ph. Rock Gears, kalidad, kisig, kasarinlan. And also Electronics Extreme Philippines, from the company that will bring you the new Gunbound Philippines. Electronics Extreme intend to develop the gaming industry continually with new concepts and new technology. They are here for borderless fun and experiences. Check out their website at extreme.co.th. Again, extreme.co.th. And last but not the least, our favorite, Game Express. Game Express is the first and only game store in the Philippines that offer pre-orders with no deposit fee. No more waiting in line. The games you love will come straight to you. Free cash on delivery nationwide, and find them at Facebook by searching Game Express. Nadidistract ko sa- Anyway,
Ang cute game!
thank you so much. At kami nga po, ang parausan bago magtanghalian para sa kalmado at apurado. Kami ay magbabalik bukas alas 10:30 hanggang alas 11:30 ng umaga dito lamang sa
Tsongporado!
Hey, fellow pirates, come and listen what I say. The captain is a tyrant and I no longer obey. I'm sick of taking orders from the madman in command. So let's stop him on an island and leave him in the sand. Cause it's a mutiny. It's a mutiny. It's a mutiny. And now we're taking over the ship.
US to China. So the US owes money to China,
Yeah.
and we also owe money to China. So we have the China debt trap that's what they're talking about, and we are now live, guys. So
Again.
talking about the China debt trap. Hold on. We are going to end the stream. Oh,
Mhm.
and the recording.